Deadpool's epic journey kicks off in the eerie quiet of a desolate graveyard. He's on a high-stakes mission to save his universe from destruction. Armed with nothing but grim determination, Deadpool frantically digs through the dirt, hoping to find Wolverine. After all, Logan's legendary healing factor might have kept him alive. But as he uncovers the remains, the crushing reality hits him hard. His last hope is now just a skeleton. As his fury subsides, Deadpool finds himself in a surreal conversation with the skeletal remains of his fallen ally. It's a strange mix of grief and desperation as he pleads with the bones to come back and help him. Just when it seems like things can't get worse, TV agents swoop in to arrest him for messing with the timeline. Quick on his feet, Deadpool grabs Wolverine's adamantium bones and turns them into makeshift weapons. The agents are no match for his wild, unpredictable fighting style. After taking them down, Deadpool kicks Wolverine's skull away in frustration. But the chaos doesn't end there. More TVA agents emerge from portals, and Deadpool, undeterred, straps Wolverine's claws to his wrists, using them to slice through his enemies with a deadly mix of fury and finesse. Now let's rewind a few months. Wade Wilson, tired of his chaotic life as Deadpool, dreams of joining the Avengers. Why? To win back Vanessa, his lost love, his biggest fear. Losing her forever. But when he approaches Happy Hogan, Tony Stark's former driver and now a key Avenger, he gets a cold rejection. Happy tells him that Wade's motives are selfish, and the Avengers don't need another troubled soul. Fast forward 6 months and Wade has started over, working at a car dealership with Peter Parker, one of the few who knows his secret. On his birthday, Peter throws him a surprise party, and Wade is thrilled to see his friends, including Vanessa, now his ex. Despite the pain of their breakup, Wade is surrounded by people who care about him, and for once he feels truly happy. But just as he's about to make a birthday wish, a knock at the door shatters the celebration. Deadpool opens the door to find TVA agents waiting. Before he can react, one agent rips off his wig, and another drags him through a portal. He's whisked away to TVA headquarters, where he meets Paradox, a TVA official. Paradox explains that TVA agents protect the sacred timeline, and Wade has been chosen for a grand purpose. Help him, and he'll get a chance to join the Avengers. Eager to seize this golden opportunity, Deadpool agrees and rushes off to the tailor's room for a slick new uniform. However, Paradox drops a bombshell: Wade can never return home. His universe is set to reset in 72 hours, erasing everyone he loves. Paradox reveals that when a universe loses its anchor, it starts to crumble. In Wade's universe, Wolverine was that anchor, having sacrificed himself to save a group of mutant children, including his daughter Laura. Instead of letting the universe die a slow, painful death over millennia, Paradox decided to accelerate the destruction with a catastrophic machine. Faced with the gut-wrenching choice of joining the sacred timeline to fulfill his Avengers dream or being obliterated with his friends, Deadpool chooses a third option. He smacks Paradox, grabs the temp pad, and opens a portal back home. Driven by a glimmer of hope that Wolverine might still be alive, Deadpool digs up the remains once more, only to find the skeletal remains of the man who could have saved his world. After taking out all the TV agents sent to retrieve him, Deadpool embarks on a daring quest. His mission? To find another version of Logan, persuade him to help save his universe, and rescue the people he holds dear from certain destruction. Deadpool's journey through the multiverse takes him on a wild ride, as he searches for a Wolverine who can help save his world. Along the way, he encounters a parade of Logan variants, each one more dangerous than the last. One version of Wolverine, sporting an uncanny resemblance to Henry Cavill, even tries to claw Deadpool to pieces. After enduring a brutal barrage of adamantium claws, Deadpool finally tracks down a version of Wolverine who's an alcoholic and equally unwilling to help. Desperate and running out of options, Wade hauls the reluctant Logan to TVA headquarters, hoping Paradox will swap out this old Wolverine for a more cooperative model. To Deadpool's dismay, Paradox insists that such a substitution is impossible. Determined, Wade demands to speak to whoever is in charge, only to uncover Paradox's plan to execute the operation without approval. To save his skin, Paradox decides to reset Deadpool and Wolverine, erasing their existence before they can cause any more trouble. When Deadpool and Wolverine are confronted, Logan is seething with rage, having been yanked from his universe against his will and trapped in an unknown place. Wade responds in kind, unloading his pistol cartridges into Logan's ribs. The battle rages on, with Wolverine using his claws to slice through Deadpool's weapons. In a desperate move, Deadpool draws his sword to parry the strikes. Despite being hit several times, Wolverine's wounds only make him more dangerous. Deadpool's swords become lodged in Wolverine's body, leaving Logan vulnerable. As Logan prepares to tear Deadpool apart, Wade makes a last-ditch effort to persuade him. He guesses that Wolverine's bitterness stems from a significant loss and promises that if Wolverine helps him get back to TVA headquarters, he'll convince Paradox to restore his universe. Just as Wade's pitch is making headway, the appearance of Captain America interrupts their conversation. Deadpool is momentarily starstruck, but his excitement turns to confusion when the fiery hero starts catching fire. It's not Steve Rogers, but Johnny Storm of the Fantastic Four. As the Human Torch uses his powers to fend off enemies, Pyro absorbs all the flames, leaving Johnny powerless and crashing to the ground. Sabretooth then steps in, ready to strike Johnny down. With the battle escalating, Deadpool pulls the sword from Wolverine's body, anticipating an epic clash. However, the fight takes an unexpected turn when Logan immediately decapitates his opponent. Realizing he can't capture the two heroes, Pyro resorts to using a giant magnet to imprison Wolverine and Deadpool. The pair ends up trapped in a cell with Johnny, who is then taken to Cassandra Nova's hideout, the formidable twin sister of Professor Charles Xavier. Upon meeting Cassandra Nova, Deadpool seizes the opportunity to recount all the terrible things Johnny Storm had said about her. Cassandra, however, reveals her chilling backstory. She was exiled to this desolate place before she could even walk, and her brother, Professor Xavier, never came looking for her. As Cassandra airs her grievances, Wolverine, enraged by her disrespect towards his deceased friend, attempts to attack her, but his fury results in him being sunk into the ground by Cassandra's powers. Cassandra then delves into Deadpool's mind, searching for his greatest vulnerabilities. She uncovers his recent heartbreak, his rejection by the person he loved most. Upon exiting his mind, Deadpool uses the distraction to his advantage, allowing Wolverine to launch a surprise attack with his claws. To their astonishment, Cassandra effortlessly evades the strike and summons a menacing purple cloud named Aloe to devour them. As the dark cloud closes in, Wolverine and Deadpool make a daring escape aboard a flying device, narrowly avoiding capture. Their escape marks the beginning of a new mission to return to the TVA and capture Paradox, demanding he fix both universes. But first, the duo decides they need a break. They stumble upon an abandoned diner in the middle of the desert, where they take a moment to rest. While sharing a meal, Deadpool mentions that in his world Wolverine is a beloved hero. This surprises Wolverine, who reveals that in his universe, he's despised due to a grave mistake he made. After their brief respite, the Allies resume their journey towards the border, a path Johnny had indicated as the only way out of this world. During their trek, Wolverine inquires about his alternate self, and Deadpool explains that Logan had died heroically, sacrificing himself to free a girl named Laura, known as X-23. Laura was like a daughter to Wolverine, and he gave his life to ensure her freedom. Suddenly, Deadpool spots a dog running towards him and is instantly smitten. Without a second thought, he decides to adopt the dog, which is named Dogpool. However, he soon discovers that Dogpool already has an owner, Nicepool, another version of Deadpool. Nicepool, seeing the stranger's plight, offers them a ride in his car to expedite their journey to the border. Although reluctant to part with Dogpool, Deadpool returns the dog to his rightful owner and gratefully accepts the ride. With Nicepool's help, they continue their quest, hopeful that they are one step closer to saving their worlds. During the journey, Deadpool asks Wolverine what he would like to change if the TVA agents could alter the past. Upon hearing this, Logan realizes he has been deceived, as his partner convinced him to help under false promises. Unsure if his universe can be altered by the mutant, Wolverine abruptly breaks the vehicle and attacks Deadpool. Deadpool is furious for being tricked since, being removed from his world against his will, Wolverine believed he could fix a great mistake from the past and bring his friends back. Now knowing it is all an illusion, he vents his frustration on Wade. At that moment, Deadpool and Wolverine start fighting inside the car. Deadpool tries to cut him with his sword, but is repeatedly pierced by Logan's claws. During the battle, they destroy the entire vehicle and splatter blood everywhere. Since both can heal instantly, the fight lasts the whole night. In the morning, they are found unconscious by another variant sent to that world. A few minutes after the rescue, Deadpool wakes up and sees Logan drinking a bottle of whiskey. Suddenly, Wade hears a noise and prepares to attack, but is surprised by the arrival of Elektra, who easily knocks him down. Then Blade, the vampire hunter, and Gambit appear, along with Laura. The young woman reveals that she found them in the desert and decided to take them to the hideout because she recognized Wolverine. Before being captured by the TVA, Laura underwent a similar experiment to Logan, having several liters of adamantium injected into her body. Thanks to Wolverine, X-23 survived, and even knowing that he was not the same Logan who saved her, she decided to repay the favor. Upon meeting the team, Deadpool asks how they got there, and Elektra reveals that all their universes were reset. Knowing that these mutants would never accept the destruction of their world without a fight, the TVA decided to send them to the Void to prevent them from causing problems. Hearing this story, Wade decides to join the team and learns that they are friends of Johnny. At that moment, Wolverine reveals that because of Deadpool, the Human Torch was eliminated by Cassandra. However, Wade manages to turn the situation around and convince the mutants to help him defeat Cassandra, the sister of Professor Xavier. The only way to stop the enemy is by blocking her powers with Magneto's helmet, but Cassandra destroys it after eliminating the mutant. While telling the sad story of how they lost the most experienced member of the team, Elektra remembers that Juggernaut's helmet can also block Cassandra's powers. The only problem is that Juggernaut works for her. Deadpool devises a plan to steal the helmet and convince everyone to join him. except for Wolverine. That night, while drinking whiskey by a campfire, Logan receives a visit from Laura. The young woman states that he reminds her a lot of her father despite all his flaws, and says that her father was always there when she needed him. Hearing this, Logan admits he wasn't there to help the X-Men when his team needed him most. Instead of staying at the mansion with his family, Wolverine decided to follow his path. One day, humans invaded the house and eliminated all the mutants. Hours later, Logan came back drunk from a bar and found the bodies of his friends. Since then, he has never been able to forgive himself for not being there to protect them. After hearing this sad story, Laura states that she will accompany them to Cassandra's hideout in the morning and asks Wolverine to support them in this fight. At dawn, the team gets in the car and drives to the mutants' hideout. As they approach the fortress, Blade uses a bazooka to destroy the gates, and the team invades the enemy base. Everyone thought Wolverine wouldn't support them in the battle, but he emerges from the trunk, and his allies feel more confident seeing him.